Hey everyone, and welcome to another live challenger commentary from a SkillCapped expert. This guide comes from our website, SkillCapped.com, where we have over 500 Smurf commentaries by the top players and coaches, teaching you exactly how to escape the rank that you're stuck in. There's 14 brand new commentaries added each week, and a site-exclusive feature where our challenger experts will answer any and all questions that you have. All of this and so much more can be unlocked at our website, SkillCapped.com, so click the link in the description below, head to SkillCapped.com, and get the rank you've always wanted.
Hello everyone and welcome to SkillCapped Smurf Commentaries. My name is Coach Kaiba. I am a Grandmaster Peak coach and in this game I am playing Seraphine in roughly gold, mid-goldish elo. Now we actually are starting off the game with a very aggressive play by them that does manage to somehow get a Nunu's flash. But anyway, so this game we are playing Caitlyn and Seraphine into Jinx and Veigar. Now when it comes to this lane, it's kind of on us to get some pressure up early. This is because we have a Caitlyn who is going to get outscaled by the Jinx, but can put a lot of pressure on the Jinx. So this is a good display of this matchup, purely because there's also Jinx will outscale, obviously, but Caitlyn is very, very effective. So one of the things that we are actually going to be looking for in this game is to make sure that when the Veigar uses his cage, we go as aggressive as possible. In these elos, one of the common things is that Jinx won't really use her rockets to poke, and the Veigar will kind of waste his cage, and that will actually allow us to get a lot more pressure in the lane than usual. Now also because Veigar is a champion that doesn't really have a solid engage tool, it means if we actually manage to get them pushed into the tower, we can do a very large amount of poke from that. Now we are also going to be looking to proc this support item as much as possible. So see, he's used his cage here, and we can just reset aggro. And now he has no cage. So now we're going to walk up into this Jinx's face and we're just going to get as much poke as possible on her. So this is good. And now we get to force them into the tower, which is a very beneficial thing for us. Okay. So I did go slightly too aggressive there. I thought that auto attack would actually kill the Jinx, but it didn't. We still get first blood off that though. A little bit too aggressive from me, but it's okay. The Caitlyn gets the solo farm. Jinx loses a massive amount of minions from that, and you know, Caitlyn is still very, very strong. Now she is actually in a position where she can potentially maybe even get another kill, but this is okay. So I'm going to come back into lane now. I did buy an amplifying tool just because I want to have a little bit of aggression here. Caitlyn shouldn't be backing, just because there's no real reason for her to yet. And we're just going to continue with this huge amount of aggression that we've managed to exert so far early into this game. So we are just going to quickly pop a potion. We're going to get this poke off. Some more potions. We do have biscuits, which are really, really good for us. But like I said, our goal is to make sure that this Jinx can never walk up to the wave safely. And there we go. So even though we did make a little bit of a blunder early just by sort of over committing, we do have the ability now that we can just continuously shut this this Jinx out of the game, and even keep aggressing this Veigar. So Veigar is playing very far back now. which is good for him, obviously. We are just going to keep this pressure up. And also just going to keep these shields up too. Again, so one of the main things with Seraphine as well is when you actually use your abilities, you will actually have the ability to use your auto attacks at a much longer range. Now this is especially good, so we need him to take aggro there. Now this is especially good purely because by having these really big attack ranges, we can just pressure them out even with autos. This is very beneficial for us because it means we can be really aggressive in this lane. Now, like we previously said at the start, the goal is to make sure that whenever Veigar's cage is down, that we're looking to abuse that as best we possibly can. Now, we're going to actually just buy a control ward here because we do have a biscuit, which is our last biscuit, but we're going to get the control ward just because it's going to benefit us in the laning phase, especially if this J4 now realizes that this lane's going to be very snowbally and tries to shut down the Caitlyn. So making sure to get that vision down is really important. So even though we did kind of make a little bit of a blunder at the very start of the game, just kind of not really taking into consideration the Guardian from the Veigar as much. This was a slight oversight, but we can still play the rest of the lane out how it's supposed to be, and we'll still very comfortably win it. So now what we're going to look to do is, as soon as this wave is trimmed, we are going to look to exhaust the Jinx, and then from the exhaust, we're going to actually land our E very easily due to the fact that she will be very crippled. So again, we can just keep looking out for the Veigar to use his cage. As soon as he uses his cage, the Jinx is completely vulnerable. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and bait him. We're going to try and force him to use it. There we go. So now we force him to use it, we can just go all in on... Oh, okay. Okay. So they actually use everything here. Okay. So the J4 was here, but it didn't really matter that much. Again, so like I said previously, what we're really looking to do is, since we know that in these elos, this is roughly gold elo, we know that players will they'll enjoy wasting their abilities, because one of the things that a lot of players don't realize in these elos, which you can abuse very easily, is that the threat of having a important cooldown available is actually more important than actually using it, because once you use it, you open up this window of opportunity that the enemy support can actually completely punish you for it. Now this is something that happens all the time with a lot of these kind of elos, and it really just allows you to completely snowball the game off it. Now the two solo lanes are also winning too, but we want to focus on our laning phase. One of the main things that you always want to really focus on when you're learning champions and you're learning to climb is focusing on nailing your laning phase as best possible, because once you actually nail your laning phase, then it just comes down to simple macro. Look to punish them, look to take advantage, look to get vision denial, just stuff like that really. So we really want to just focus on things like that. So now we actually have ult, and Jinx is level 4. So we're gonna just get... So unfortunately the Caitlyn did get caught here by the cage, which isn't too good for us. It did mean that we just used our ultimate for no real reason, but we can actually just get this first turret in return. Now here we didn't really focus enough on, again, making sure that we waited for the Veigar cage to be gone, but we did force Jinx to reset, keeping her at level 4, and now allowing us to push. Now this is actually good that we don't take this tower, because it's going to deny the entire wave. And not only that, we can continue laning. Like, we don't really want to leave laning phase yet. 2 other towers are pretty low. They're not that low. So ending laning phase here is kind of bad. So I'm actually going to look to walk up and get a bit more poke. If I don't land it, that's fine. My main objective here is to get my echo, so that I can get a easy E. Now, one of the main things with Seraphine as well is you want to make sure that you get your Moonstone so that you have a large amount of mana at your disposal, and also Lucidity Boots. Now, the reason behind this is because the more notes you have, the more attack range you have, up to 800 plus. I think it's something along the lines of 870 attack range. So because of this, we actually want to not use autos too much. We did miss there, but see, so now we can just walk up and use that, which gets us stacks towards our quest completion. So we're just going to dodge everything inside here, look to get a bit more poke, and yeah, so this is fine. So now there's not really that much that this Jinx can really do in this laning phase, and she's into a very tough matchup, and the Veigar has repeatedly missed all of his abilities, which have allowed us to, or not even missed, just wasted all of his abilities. Now, that was a little bit of a wasteful ult, but if he would have sat in the bush still, then that would have been pretty good. We're not too sure where this TF is actually coming. We're going to pop our last biscuit, and Caitlyn wants to reset, I think. So we're going to reset as well. We do have a considerable amount of gold, and we have a spike in base in our Moonstone. So what we're going to do, we're going to reset now. Now Fizz is really big, so this game we're actually going to look to just get Moonstone and into Staff of Flowing Water. This is because not only does Staff benefit us as well, but it's also going to benefit someone else on our team. Now if me and Caitlyn were the only ones snowballing this game, then what we would actually look to do is we would get a added sensor, and we'd look to just protect the Caitlyn or allow the Caitlyn to snowball. So now at this point of the game, it's about just making sure that we end out this game, right? So the Jinx is now going to be able to free farm bot lane because we got the tower, but that means that me and Caitlyn can roam about the map and try and get some pressure elsewhere, maybe even some more plates, since we do have 1 minute 30 left on these plates. So we're going to walk up here, and we're going to see if they're sat in any of the bushes. So they are. So we're just going to make sure that Caitlyn stays alive, and that's fine. Now because we're snowballing and we just want to keep this Caitlyn alive, we're actually going to max W second, just so that we get as much value out of that as possible. Okay, so there we go. So the Caitlyn is now godlike. We managed to peel her effectively, which allowed her to actually survive in that fight. We're going to either wave here, just so that we can clear off this backline really quick. Now, I really did it anyway, but making sure you can you want to either wave when it comes up straight, and then after that, then you can just do more damage to it. So it's kind of unlucky that we're pushing this as a trio, because when you push as a trio, you actually... So we land the E first. We land the E first so that then we can ult safely, and we know we're going to guarantee the ult, right? So we always want to look to chain our CC together as much as we possibly can. So we are going to play a bit more careful here though. We've got E up in 3. So there's only 2 of them showing. Okay, so we managed to get another E on him, and the Caitlyn managed to kill him. So a little bit of mastery spam there from the Caitlyn. So I think this is like gold / platinum elo. But yeah, so this is kind of how effective Seraphine could be. She's one of the strongest supports in the game, to be honest. She's very, very good. She can also be played mid lane as well, so if you do start maining Seraphine and you just queue support and mid lane, unless she gets banned or taken, it means you're always going to get her. Now, from here, it's just a case of us ending out this game. We've really stomped our lane, and the Caitlyn's very, very ahead right now. So this is the main goal for us. We have our Moonstone Renewer as well. So this is very, very good for us, and it means we can really get a lot of pressure. We're just going to layer these minions down a little bit, just so that... Okay, so in this team fight, our goal is to just keep everybody alive, keep poking out whenever possible, and just keep our team fight going. Like, we're very, very strong. So yeah, so this is kind of a good example of how we're gonna exhaust this guy. This is a good example of how we can abuse one person not understanding how their champion works or when they should look for opportunities and completely snowball the game off it. Because even though the Fizz is also very big right now, it doesn't really mean too much. We still played our game properly, you know. So there we go. Okay. So we want to try and get both of these with that single E. We didn't actually manage to, but that's okay. So we do have Moonstone ticking repeatedly, so that's fine. She wants to go get that. We do actually have enough for an item. So what we're going to do as well, Caitlyn goes and gets that red. We're going to back and get our item because it's going to give us even more pressure. It's going to allow us to basically 1v1 this Jinx who's extremely behind right now. So we're going to get this. Now, this game we haven't really warded too much, but that's because we haven't really focused on a specific area of the map. We've just basically played on our snowball. Now, if, say, for example, we weren't snowballing as hard, or we had the need to leave the lane and go elsewhere, then that could be something that we could look to do as well. But as of right now, all we really need to do is look to get vision so that we can get picks. Now, vision for picks is really important. So right here, we can see the Jarvan up there. So we're actually going to go and just ward up through the jungle over here. Deny any vision that they do have. Now, the Jarvan is... we're going to just flash out of this. Just because we didn't actually expect the Darius to be there, which is a shame. But that's okay. We're going to see if we can deny some vision around here, just in case they do have any. It's very unlikely they do because they haven't really had the ability to walk out of the base too much. But okay, so there's a control ward here. It's probably been here for quite a while. Okay, so we got his flash, and it doesn't actually matter because Caitlyn's ult. So yeah, so we got his flash there too. So that's something we want to play around. So here we can just keep the poke up, just keep poking them out as much as we can, and make sure that it's very difficult for them to actually leave. We want to use that echo as much as possible. But yeah, we do want to play around that. Now, we do have to be careful just because we are very, very strong, but there is also the opportunity that they could potentially bring this game back due to the fact that if Jinx gets a few of these shutdowns, she's going to actually do a lot. So we're actually going to walk up and see if we can potentially help this fight. I don't think we can. They've left now, but we're going to try and get some sneaky vision down. So we're going to... Okay, so a little bit of vision there. We're going to replace this control wall, just because that allows the Aurelia to just keep solo pushing. So J4 did clear it out instantly, which is a shame. So we're just going to pop this up. So we did get caught out here, so this was an accident by us. I think this push was actually warded, which I should have checked. So Now, we can look to build a bit situationally based on the game. So they don't really have a massive amount of lifesteal right now. So Chemtech isn't really too essential. We can just go for an Ardence, just because it will give us more AP, and that AP will actually allow us to do more in these fights as well. So we do actually need to group together now. We are one dragon away from the soul, so we are going to focus on that as much as we can. But we're going to look to help this Nunu now. I think he's just going to flash out. Yep. So right here, we just need to group. I'm going to come and help him. If this Darius keeps over chasing, which he isn't. Okay, so they did actually surrender the game because we were very, very ahead. So this is one of the examples of how you can play Seraphine to just completely nail your lane off cooldowns and win there. So I've been Coach Kaiba, and I'll speak to you again soon.
And remember, this guide comes from our website SkillCapped.com, where we have over 500 Smurf commentaries by the top players and coaches teaching you exactly how to escape the rank that you're stuck in. Not only that, but we release 14 brand new Smurf commentaries with cutting edge builds and meta champions every single week. And if that wasn't enough, we have a site exclusive feature where you can ask the Challenger expert any question you want, anything you're struggling with or confused about, and are guaranteed a response by them. All of this can be unlocked for as little as $5 a month and is backed by our rank improvement guarantee. That means a full refund if you don't improve. That's not all, you also get the most comprehensive League of Legends training on the internet with over 900 videos and 150 courses teaching you exactly what you need to know to improve. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below, head to SkillCapped.com and join the hundreds of thousands of satisfied SkillCapped members and get that rank you've always wanted.